Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Keep doing what you're doing, everything's fine. I'm going to do this a little bit different to the usual stand-up gig, actually, because we're in Robe. I can relax a little bit more and not be so sophisticated. My education too sometimes can be lacking. Some of the words I use may be very short and only have one syllable or one vowel in them, but don't worry, it doesn't hurt anybody. Are you all having a great weekend? You are so easy. I didn't even need to put ecstasy in those beers out the back of the all, did I? It was pretty cool. Look, we're having a beer festival, which I think is absolutely fantastic. Look, it's much cheaper than having the Rolling Stones come down to Robe. And the great thing about having a beer festival is, of course, that you can make the beer, you can have your beer judged, and then you can drink it afterwards. It's the ultimate participation sport. There's a lot of things that alcohol does get a bad rap for, a lot of the wrongs in the world, things that go bad. And to be quite honest, it's not fair. It's just they don't say the good things about beer or alcohol. Alcohol does not make you fat. It makes you lean. It makes you lean on tables and chairs and ugly people. And sometimes it makes you love ugly people. And sometimes it makes those ugly people feel really good because it improves their self-esteem. Unfortunately, you've got to think of a phone number to give them when you go home in the morning. I also don't like people who preach about healthy lifestyles. If people start preaching at you about healthy lifestyles, there is one simple answer. Keith Richards from the Rolling Stones is 70. Life's simple. And I also don't think it's very nice the way people are treating poor Mr. Lance Armstrong after that amazing achievement of winning 7 Tour de France's while on drugs. When I was on drugs, I couldn't even find my bike, let alone ride it. And I'm a boring old fart now. I can only talk about things I used to do. And I'll be honest that now I have a really responsible lifestyle. I run a little B&B in Robe, and unfortunately I get a heap of international visitors. And it's astounding because it makes me look at my own country very differently. What it also does is I have to give them advice about things to do and things not to do. And one of the things I've had to tell them is don't buy us pints of Foster's lager. Contrary to popular belief, it is not our national drink. And also, it's not something that you can find in any normal Australian bar. If you do actually find Foster's lager on tap in a bar, it's only there for foreign visitors. Because, look, it's a marvellous thing. It's done by Foster's Brewing Group. They've done a fantastic job of telling the whole world that we drink Foster's lager and that it tastes great. This is a lie. There is a reason why we export Foster's lager. It tastes like shit and it's wrapped in an aluminium package. But look, Australia does have a beer culture, and our beer culture is very big, which we're all supporting this weekend down at Robe. There's a gentleman there at the back who's actually got entrance in the beer festival. There's another gentleman we've got so many people who've entered into it, and it's fantastic. You're supporting something which is such an important part of our culture. America had their revolution, their war of independence. We had the Rum Rebellion in Queensland. And that was 200 years ago. We're still doing it. And that's the thing about our Australian beers. What we do is we drink beers by location. If you're in Queensland, you drink 4X. And for those who don't know, it's not 4X for censorship reasons. It's because that's how it's pronounced, 4X. And the way to piss a Queenslander off is, of course, to say you call it 4X because you can't spell beer. When you go to New South Wales, you drink 2E's. 2E's new, or if you like a darker beer, 2E's old. If you want to piss a New South Welshman off, you just say that 2E's old tastes like a shoe dipped in dirty water, and 2E's new simply tastes like generic crap with no character. And then you order a 4X. In Victoria, you drink Carlton Draft, which is the best of, look, barely the best of a generic bunts. They've also got the BB, the Vomit Bomb, which is Australia's answer to the Taliban, which is called Random Public Projectile Vomiting. But look, basically, when you look at it, Carlton Draft, VB, 2E's, 4X, they're all generic beers and they have no character. Basically, they're cold, they've got brown water in them, they've got bubbles, they've got alcohol, they work without batteries. It's not about something which works really well, and that's what we do here with the home brew weekend. It's character beer, it's got quality, it's got flavour, it's got body, it's got taste. Don't tell Australians that our beer is crap though, because otherwise they'll just hate you and they'll want you to go back to Manus Island or wherever else you came from. But the great thing about all our Australian beers, even the bad ones, is they're better than American beers, which are all crap. And speaking of crap, I had a very interesting experience yesterday getting ready for today. This stage I'm standing on, actually, I was using this at home over my septic tank because it had got cracked on the top. And I thought, because I have so many bed and breakfast people coming into my backyard, I'll put this stage over the septic tank so no one would walk on it and fall through. Unfortunately, while I was moving this stage, I forgot about why I actually had it over the septic tank. And I fell through the concrete roof into the septic tank up to my neck in crack. The first thing that came to my mind was this. This is what it must feel like if you're a Malaysian airline pilot going to work every day. It's never too soon. I'm not going to go there anymore. No, look, I do like the international visitors we get to Australia and from everywhere. We are very fortunate. I do like the way they are so fascinated in the ordinary things about Australia. They ask things about our politics, our employment, our food. They want to know how we are. And that is incredible. They love our animals, the kangaroos, the wombats. There's the two top ones, of course, the koala bear and the duck-billed platypus. And I understand that they are fascinating, these animals. We get used to it. We start to think Australia's ordinary, but you start to, from my point of view, re-evaluate how you think about your country. Say, hey, this is a great place. We live here, and these people are coming here and they want to know all about it. There are a couple of animals they're not really keen on, the shark and the crocodile, because they are scared of a lot of our wildlife, the spiders which bite them, the snakes which poison them, the jellyfish which sting them. They can't understand the crocodile or the shark because they take you. Where do they take you to? A better place like Fiji or Hawaii? And those girts, the only animal mentioned in the Australian national anthem, girt by sea. What the hell happens when you get girted? And I've done a lot of things in my life in Australia. I've licked toads, I've helped to save children by smoking all the marijuana, and I have never yet found out what a girt does. And I'm 51, I'm in the boring old fart stage of my life now. I'm running out of things to do which are new and interesting that won't get me arrested. And so these days, it's a matter of just being really casual and loving my country. And there are amazing things which, at the B&B I do, I have jam and honey and Vegemite out for them. It's a continental breakfast. And they eat the jam and they eat the honey, and yet these tourists from overseas will grab the jar of Vegemite like it's a letter bomb. And I don't wear a turban at home, and they hold and they'll look at it and they'll hold it like this. They will not open the lid, and they'll look at me and they'll look at this Vegemite, and I start to squeal. I'm thinking, what the fucking hell have I done? They are absolutely terrified of it. For some reason, they think there is something wrong with Vegemite and that we eat it. And if 1 out of 4 people will eat it, and I'll have people there, 3 of them will be watching their friend eat Vegemite. The other 3 have got their mobile phones out texting the ambulance. It's simply a really nice yeast extract.
Fantastic.
Yeah. I mean, who has Vegemite in their home? Yeah. Look at it. And it doesn't hurt any of us, but it's amazing. These are the stories like Foster's that ruin our international reputation. So we have to be careful about this. So we start telling people overseas that Vegemite is a good thing for you. I'm really impressed with myself tonight. I haven't gone to the places where some of the voices in my head are telling me to go to. And you people do not know how hard that is. The reason I'm tabling this is because there's fellow comedians of mine who I've toured with who won't believe that I've stood up here and been so good. But actually the other week I had an Irishman stay, Ronan, and his daughter Lily, who was 8. And she was amazing. She was in love with this toy she bought. It was a stuffed echidna. I mean, that's just false marketing anyway. She's cuddling this stuffed echidna all the time. She had no idea what they really like. But they were going to Kangaroo Island for 2 days to see if they could see one in the wild. That's a true story, and that's what's so amazing about the honesty and the beauty of Australia. They love the way we still are no worries. They think that we are amazing. The Germans just can't figure us out at all. And it's very hard when they stay because they start talking about the problems in Europe and the global financial crisis, and I think to myself, well, I'll just shut up here because I know that last time Germany tried to fix the global financial crisis, it really caused a lot of trouble, especially their summer holiday to France in 1940. Just went a little bit over the top, a bit like the bull, bit like Schoolies Week, really. But look, when we're getting through to the point, I'm going to finish up very shortly because otherwise the voices in my head will start to take over, and there are children and there are people that I do know in the audience, and I'd rather keep some things secret. But when it comes to Australia, I'd like to talk about the beer thing as well. Look, we all know that necessity is the mother of invention. Beer is the father of civilization. The ancient Egyptians invented agriculture to grow more grain to make more beer. Women, you took the excess grain and you invented bread. Man, we put a chop on the bread and we invented the barbecue. And that's the story of civilization. And when it comes to small towns like this, there is one thing you have to remember. It's all these little events we do that make it work. And I'm thinking of an Irish comedian who I think a hell of a lot of. And he's once talking about his little town he came from in Ireland called, I don't know, something else, Clover on the Hillside or whatever they call it over there. But he said, my small town, we needed a big event. He suggested an Olympics. Not an ordinary Olympics, a drug Olympics. Not a recreational drug Olympics, a steroid Olympics. And instead of having teams with countries in it, they're sponsored by the chemical companies. Like you have Team Viagra, you have Team Panadol. Because I personally think to myself, I would love to see someone full of steroids who's basically still human run a 5-second 100 metres. I don't care if they explode halfway down the track. That would just be worth seeing. And just to hear the ABC commentator saying they're out on the athletics field, and here we are, and he's taking a run up, look at this man mountain of muscles tearing down this track, and he's taking off, he started the hop skip, and where the fuck did he go? Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. My name's been Geoff. I hope you've had a good night. The voices in my head, thank you. The chemicals from the 1980s, thank you. Good night, thank you very much.